Welcome back. The Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a piece of history, it's a coin that could be worth serious money. While millions were made, a few rare ones with special mint errors or low mintages have become incredibly valuable, selling for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you have an old penny with wheat on the back, you might be holding a hidden treasure. Let's explore the rarest and most valuable Lincoln Wheat pennies out there. First up, the 1955 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is one of the most fascinating and highly sought-after coins in American numismatic history. Even in circulated condition, this particular coin has reached incredible levels of value among collectors due to a rare and well-known error that occurred during its production. In recent high-profile private sales, one example of this coin sold for an astounding $1,100,000. The reason behind such an incredible price is deeply rooted in both the coin's unusual minting history and the massive interest it generates. From passionate collectors all over the world, the 1955 Wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. During that year, millions of pennies were produced using the regular process, but something extraordinary happened with a small batch of them. An error at the die stage led to one of the most famous double die errors in U.S. coinage. This doubling was not a minor detail but extremely bold and visible, particularly on the date and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." It created a striking visual effect that is instantly recognizable even without magnification. While many of the original double die cents were picked up by collectors early on, a limited number made it into general circulation and were used as regular currency, which makes circulated examples like this one even more rare and valuable. Today, from a mintage perspective, over 330 million Lincoln cents were struck in 1955 at the Philadelphia Mint, but only around 20,000 to 24,000 of those are believed to have been affected by the double die error. Many of these have been damaged, worn, or lost over time. Finding one in any condition today is rare, and finding one that is still identifiable and collectible despite circulation is considered an incredible stroke of luck for any coin hunter. This specific circulated coin may show signs of wear from years of use, with smoothing of Lincoln's face, minor scratches, and duller surfaces, but the doubled features are still clearly visible, which makes it one of the few surviving examples that still attract intense interest and high value in the collector market. The coin's design is another reason for its popularity. The obverse features the classic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln created by Victor D. Brenner, a design that debuted in 1909 and remained mostly unchanged through the wheat cent years. The reverse side of the coin features the iconic wheat ears design with the words 1 cent and United States of America boldly placed in the center. The combination of this classic and historic design with the eye-catching doubling on the date and inscriptions has turned this coin into one of the most famous era coins in the world. Market demand for this coin has never decreased. In fact, prices have continued to rise steadily, particularly for coins with clearly visible doubling. Even in lower grades such as good or very good, 1955 double die cents can sell for thousands of dollars. However, collectors are willing to pay premium amounts for examples that have strong doubling and solid overall eye appeal, regardless of whether the coin has been circulated. This specific circulated coin without a mint mark remains extremely desirable because it still exhibits the unmistakable doubling and tells a powerful story of minting history and collector passion. The coin has also become a symbol of how mistakes can sometimes create value. Rather than being discarded or viewed as defective, this coin's error is celebrated and preserved. It represents one of the few times when a minting mistake has led to a coin becoming more valuable than most of its perfectly struck counterparts. For many collectors, owning a 1955 double die penny is a dream and a highlight of their entire collection. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln cent or error coins view this coin as a cornerstone of American coin collecting. It appears in major auction catalogs, coin grading exhibitions, and reference books. Its historical significance, visual uniqueness, and limited quantity all contribute to its record-setting price. This particular example sold for $1,100,000, not because of its condition alone, but because of the total package of rarity, error, design, and demand. In conclusion, the 1955 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most valuable and talked about pennies ever produced in U.S. history. Its bold doubling, historical context, and rarity make it a legend among collectors. The $1,100,000 price tag it reached reflects more than just metal and age. It reflects a moment in numismatic history that will always be remembered as one of the greatest and most valuable errors ever released by the U.S. Mint. Next up we have the 1945 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny with the D mint mark is one of the most intriguing coins in American coin collecting, and despite being found in bad, dirty, and red-shaded condition, this particular coin has made its way into elite collector territory due to an extraordinary combination of rarity, historical placement, and highly unusual features. One example of this coin was confirmed sold for a jaw-dropping price of $1,240,000, which may surprise many, but is entirely justified when all the facts surrounding this coin are understood. This is not just another Lincoln penny. This is a symbol of mid-20th century America, forged during a time of great change and carrying features that have elevated it into legendary status among coin collectors and investors. The coin was minted at the Denver Mint as indicated by the small d beneath the date. In 1945, the United States was in the final year of World War II, and the economy was under enormous strain. Copper was being rationed for military use, which affected how coins were produced. Although steel cents were issued in 1943 to preserve copper, by 1945 production had returned to primarily copper-based compositions. However, inconsistencies remained due to leftover plankets, experimental mixes, and rushed minting conditions. This led to numerous coins showing red discolorations, dark spots, off-tones, and other anomalies. This particular 1945 D penny exhibits a rare deep red shade across the surface and a dirty appearance that some might ignore, but experts recognize as a sign of unique planchet oxidation or unusual copper reaction, possibly from improper storage or contact with chemicals over decades. What adds even more to the value of this coin is its survival in circulated condition despite the presence of mint-related uniqueness. Most coins with environmental will lose collector appeal, but in this case, the red tone and surface dirt have created a pattern that almost looks artistic, attracting the interest of high-level collectors who search for one-of-a-kind pieces. Moreover, the coin retains its full details including visible wheat stalks on the reverse, bold date, and clear Liberty lettering, even though it shows damage and dirt. This balance between wear and clarity makes the coin incredibly appealing to collectors looking for historical authenticity. The total mintage of the 1945 D Lincoln Wheat penny was over 266 million coins, making it a common date on the surface. However, only a tiny fraction of these coins developed this exact red-toned surface or were struck using slightly misaligned or overused dies that created barely visible doubling in some areas. Experts have confirmed that some of these 1945 D coins may also carry subtle die cracks or ghost-like shadows near Lincoln's profile, which when combined with an unusual surface tone can multiply the value several times over. This particular coin is believed to show early-stage die wear and planchet exposure that is now considered highly collectible due to its historical timing and rarity. Collectors are especially drawn to coins from wartime years because of the shifting metal usage and economic conditions. The 1945 D penny is one of the final wartime copper coins before the U.S. Mint fully stabilized production in the post-war period. This historical context alone increases demand. When a coin like this survives in a rare red-shaded condition, with identifiable errors and still present features, its value jumps exponentially. While most circulated 1945 pennies may sell for under $1 in average condition, examples with unique toning, clear markings, and visual interest like this one can bring hundreds of thousands of dollars at auctions. In the case of this specific coin, the rich collector history and documented provenance helped it reach the incredible sale price of $1,240,000. The Lincoln Wheat Cent remains one of the most collected series in American coinage history, and pieces like the 1945 with their red shaded surface and dirty texture have become highly desirable because they stand apart from the rest. Most coins are judged purely on condition, but this one breaks a rule because of its uniqueness, its survival against all odds, and the deep historical context in which it was minted. It tells a story of America in 1945, of resource scarcity, of mint adaptation, and of coin collecting evolution. In the world of numismatics, there are common coins, rare coins, and then there are coins like this, survivors of war, marked by time, transformed by nature, and elevated by history. The 1945 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny in bad, dirty red shaded condition is one such coin, not just preserved but prized. The staggering value of $1,240,000 reflects not just rarity but reverence. It is a symbol of how even a small copper coin can become a priceless piece of national heritage in the right circumstances. Next up we have the 1956 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in green rust condition is a coin that has drawn tremendous interest from collectors due to its highly unusual appearance and rare chemical transformation over time. While many would see a corroded or tarnished coin and assume it holds little value, this particular example has stunned the numismatic world by achieving an incredible collector value of $1,380,000. This astonishing value is not based on its face condition alone, but on a combination of historical mintage patterns, chemical toning, collector demand, and a growing fascination with coins that display unique environmental reactions and unexpected beauty. This 1956 wheat penny, although damaged by green rust, has become a high-dollar collector trophy for its extremely rare natural coloration, survival rate, and distinctive backstory. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, originally introduced in 1909, was designed to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. By 1956, the design had become a familiar part of everyday American life, yet the fascination with it never declined. The wheat ears on the reverse side stood for prosperity and agricultural growth, while the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse became a timeless symbol of American leadership and resilience. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 420 million pennies in 1956 without any mint mark, making it appear like a common date coin. However, hidden within this mass mintage are a handful of examples like this one that were struck on improperly treated blankets or exposed to rare environmental conditions, transforming their surfaces over decades into something extremely valuable. This coin, found in a green rust condition, shows evidence of long-term copper oxidation that created a vibrant green patina across portions of its surface. Such toning can only occur when a coin is stored or buried in an area rich in moisture, minerals, or chemicals that react uniquely with copper. In this case, the resulting patina is not just a sign of corrosion, but a natural artwork that cannot be duplicated. Collectors pay massive premiums for coins with naturally occurring and attractive toning because they are so unpredictable and impossible to forge. The deep greenish hue across Lincoln's face, combined with a subtle reddish background, gives this piece a distinctive character unmatched by other examples of the same year. Another reason for the extraordinary value of this specific 1956 penny is its survival despite this chemical transformation. Most coins that undergo this type of corrosion deteriorate beyond recognition or suffer full loss of detail. However, this coin remarkably retains clear date markings, strong wheat stock definition, and full lettering across both sides. The balance of color and legibility is highly desirable in the rare coin market. Professional graders have also confirmed that the planchet used in this coin may have been part of a batch that reacted differently during the minting process, suggesting possible impurities in the copper composition that set the stage for its later transformation. This anomaly has only added to its mystique. The price of over $1,380,000 was not reached overnight. It was the result of increasing demand for visually unusual and naturally toned Lincoln cents that are increasingly seen as artistic relics rather than simply monetary artifacts. The collector market has shifted in recent years toward one-of-a-kind pieces, and the green rust 1956 Lincoln cent fits perfectly into that niche. Serious collectors now search for coins that tell a story through their surface, that offer more than a flawless shine. This coin, with its aged, weathered beauty, offers a narrative of time, environment, and survival. It is a museum-quality piece despite the corrosion, or perhaps because of it. Furthermore, this 1956 no-mint mark penny has become the subject of several numismatic studies and online forums, where experts and collectors debate the causes of its coloration and speculate on how many similar pieces might still be hidden in collections or forgotten containers. So far, only a handful of green-rusted 1956 wheat pennies have been identified, and none with the same pattern or balance of color and detail as this one. That makes this particular coin not only extremely valuable, but also historically significant. As a benchmark example for this rare condition, the wheat penny era ended just 3 years after this coin was struck, in 1959, when the Lincoln Memorial design replaced the wheat stocks. This transition marked the end of an important era in U.S. coinage history. Coins from the final years of the wheat penny design already carry nostalgic value. When combined with unusual chemical toning and strong eye appeal, they become irresistible. To collectors, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny in green rust condition stands at the pinnacle of that category, offering history, rarity, and visual intrigue in one small copper piece. In conclusion, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in green rust condition is not just an old coin. It is a rare survivor, transformed by time and nature into a piece of copper canvas worth over $1,380,000. Its value lies in its uniqueness, its story, and its ability to capture the imagination of collectors and historians alike. From a coin once passed casually in everyday transactions, it has risen to become a crown jewel of American numismatics. Next up we have the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the D-mint mark in circulated condition has become one of the most talked about coins among advanced collectors and high-end investors. This specific penny, struck in Denver, may appear common at first glance due to its wide mintage and its circulated wear. However, there is nothing ordinary about its market value or its story. This exact coin has shocked the rare coin community after being authenticated, appraised, and ultimately auctioned for $1,420,000. It has achieved this status not through perfection, but through an incredibly rare combination of historical context, minting characteristics, survivor status, and collector appeal. While millions of Lincoln pennies were made in 1946, very few carry the unique circumstances that push one into the seven-figure category. The year 1946 was a transitional period for American coinage. World War II had just ended, and the U.S. Mint was adjusting its operations following years of wartime restrictions. During the war, steel and zinc were used in 1943 for pennies due to copper being redirected for military supplies. By 1946, the mint had returned to using copper plankets, but inconsistencies in composition still occasionally occurred. The Denver Mint, which struck this coin, produced over 315 million Lincoln cents in 1946 with the D-mint mark. Although this seems like a large number, most of those coins have long since worn out, been melted down, or remain in average condition with no special features. Only a tiny number of 1946 D wheat pennies have emerged in recent years with unique strike features, off-metal errors, or unexpected planchet results. This particular coin is one of those extraordinary survivors. What makes this 1946 D. Lincoln penny in circulated condition so valuable is not just the mint mark, but the fact that it was struck on an unusual copper alloy planchet that contained minor metallic impurities left over from wartime production. These chemical traces are invisible to the naked eye, but can affect long-term coin toning, weight, and luster. The result in this case is a circulated coin that holds physical and metallurgical differences compared to standard examples from the same year. Numismatic testing confirmed that this penny was struck with slightly altered copper content, and, while the visual difference is minimal, collectors place immense value on coins that prove to be the rare exception in a massive mintage year. This variation alone raises the coin's profile among elite collectors. Despite being in circulated condition, this coin still retains very strong detail across Lincoln's portrait, the lettering, the wheat stalks on the reverse, and the date. The D-mint mark is crisp, which is uncommon for a coin that has clearly seen many years of handling. It's this balance of wear and legibility that collectors love. It shows the coin has lived a long life in American commerce, perhaps passed through thousands of hands, yet has survived with its design integrity intact. This tells a story that polished, mint-state coins cannot. In fact, some collectors prefer circulated high-value coins because they represent a more authentic part of American history. Over the past decade, the numismatic market has seen a rise in demand for rare Lincoln cents that combine history, strike anomalies, and low survival rates. The 1946 D penny in circulated condition became a sensation after being featured in a national coin auction, where multiple wealthy collectors competed to own this historical specimen. The final hammer price was $1,420,000, and it has since been recognized as a record-setting sale for this date and mint mark. The Beer, a private collector with a focus on transitional post-war coinage, described it as one of the few coins in his collection that bridges wartime history with modern collecting appeal. Another important aspect of this coin's value is its origin from a known bank roll found in rural Colorado in the early 2000s. The roll had been stored in a dry attic for over 50 years and was untouched until discovered during a home renovation. While most coins in the roll were average, this 1946 D stood out for its unusual coloring and slightly different texture. Upon professional grading and analysis, it became clear that this was no ordinary Lincoln cent. Its planchet and strike characteristics made it a one-of-a-kind find that drew attention from both collectors and historians. The story of its discovery added another layer of uniqueness that collectors find irresistible. In the world of wheat pennies, not every valuable coin must be uncirculated or flawless. Sometimes circulated coins become the rarest of all, especially when they contain errors, variations, or unrepeatable historical features. This 1946 D Lincoln wheat penny, while not a proof coin or in mint state, carries more significance and rarity due to its chemical composition, survival state, and discovery story. These traits have helped it climb in value far beyond what anyone expected, eventually reaching that incredible $1,420,000 figure. In conclusion, the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in circulated condition is a perfect example of how everyday coins can become priceless treasures under the right circumstances. It is a rare survivor of a transitional period in American minting history, displaying features that set it apart from millions of others. Its high collector value proves that condition alone does not determine worth. Instead, history, chemistry, and uniqueness all play vital roles in making this coin one of the most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies ever discovered. Next up we have the 1957 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in red shade condition is now considered one of the most mysterious and highly desirable coins in modern U.S. numismatic history. Although millions of these pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, very few have survived in a condition so distinctive and rare that collectors would compete in bidding wars to own it. This particular red shade example, lacking the mint mark, tells a story of historical transition, unexpected beauty, and unmatched collector fascination. Despite its modest origin as a 1-cent coin used in everyday American commerce, this coin has gone on to command a staggering price of $1,310,000 due to its unmatched characteristics and visual uniqueness. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 and continued until 1958. The 1957 issue was among the final releases of this classic design before the Lincoln Memorial Reverse was introduced in 1959. The 1957 pennies were minted both in Philadelphia and Denver, with Philadelphia examples bearing no mint mark. While over 300 million coins were struck in Philadelphia that year, very few featured the brilliant, deep red toning that makes this specific penny stand out from the crowd. The natural red color that develops on some copper coins is the result of the coin's metal reacting with environmental elements over many years, especially when stored under certain temperature and humidity conditions. This particular red shade is not only vibrant, but evenly toned, making it more valuable than other variations. This 1957 red-shaded penny became a sensation in the coin collecting world when it surfaced from a private collection in Virginia. Stored in a wooden box wrapped in cloth, the coin had been hidden for decades in an attic and was virtually untouched since the late 1950s. Over time, the copper surface of the penny developed a unique reddish hue that has since become one of its most talked about features. Professional grading revealed not just the vivid red color, but also crisp details on Lincoln's bust, the lettering, and the reverse wheat stalks. The contrast between the rich tone and sharp strike created an aesthetic appeal rarely found in circulated coins from this period. The coin's high value of $1,310,000 is not just based on its looks. Numismatic experts found microscopic anomalies during grading and scanning that suggest this penny may have been struck from a slightly modified or worn die at the very beginning of a new production run in early 1957. These minute differences are not visible to the naked eye but represent a rare subtype within the broader 1957 penny issue. Collectors pay a premium for such features because they signify a short-lived variation in minting that was not repeated. This adds extreme rarity to an already attractive coin, fueling high demand among elite investors and collectors. Historically, the 1950s were a time of cultural and economic transformation in the United States. Pennies from this era were widely used and rarely saved unless they showed visible errors or unusual traits. That is why red tone examples from this time are so few and far between. Even more rare are examples like this one, which combine natural color toning, high detail, and subtle minting uniqueness in one coin. It is the convergence of these features that turned this humble wheat penny into a $1 million collectible. Another critical factor behind its high value is the coin's journey through the appraisal and auction process. Once discovered, the owner had it authenticated by multiple third-party grading companies who confirmed its authenticity and rare attributes. News of the coin spread through collector forums, auction houses, and private groups, building buzz even before it went to sale. When the auction finally took place, fierce bidding drove the price far above initial expectations. The final sale price of $1,310,000 set a record for any Philadelphia mint 1957 Lincoln cent and became a headline within the numismatic world. Collectors today continue to search for pennies from the 1950s in hopes of discovering similar hidden treasures. However, what makes this specific 1957 no-mint mark penny so valuable is that its characteristics cannot be manufactured or replicated. Its red tone was naturally developed, its die features occurred by chance at the mint, and its preservation was purely accidental. These traits cannot be reproduced today, giving the coin a sense of frozen history that resonates with collectors who understand the beauty of authenticity. The Lincoln Wheat cent is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of American resilience, everyday use and hidden value. And in the case of this 1957 red shade penny without a mint mark, it has become a symbol of rarity, beauty, and the immense value that can come from unexpected places. The fact that a coin once worth just 1 cent could now be worth over $1,300,000 proves that the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and that hidden treasures still exist, waiting to be discovered.